After living for 82 years, I've learned a lot, but there's one decision I still regret to this day. Moving into a nursing home. At the time, it felt like the right choice. My family encouraged me, assuring me that I would receive comfort and care. I believed them. But the moment I stepped into the nursing home, the reality turned out to be very different. Perhaps you too are standing at the edge of a similar decision, whether for yourself or for someone you love. You might think it's a safe option, or maybe you've been told that life will become easier. But before you take that step, I want to share with you 6 things I wish someone had told me earlier. Life in a nursing home isn't just about convenience. It changes your entire way of living. And once you're inside, coming back out isn't as easy as you might think. Listen to me until the end, because some of what I'm about to say may surprise you. And if you know someone who's considering moving into a nursing home, this video might be the most important advice they receive just in time. So let's begin with the first point. Number 1, losing independence. After moving into the nursing home, the biggest shock wasn't the small room, the fixed meal times, or the unfamiliar faces. The real blow was realizing that I had lost control over my own life. Back in my own home, I decided when to wake up, when to eat, and how to spend my day. I could step outside whenever I wanted, cook my own meals, or simply relax in my favorite chair with a good book. Those little choices gave me a sense of living life on my own terms. But in the nursing home, I quickly realized that my time was no longer my own. Everything followed a schedule, and not one I had created. Breakfast came at a set time, whether I was hungry or not. Lights were turned off at a designated hour, whether I felt sleepy or not. If I wanted to go for a walk, I had to ask someone first, then wait for a staff member to escort me. One morning during my first week, I opened my eyes and instinctively reached for my book. But when I looked around, my heart sank. This wasn't the room I knew. My books, my chair, my carefully collected comforts, all were gone. In their place were white walls, a strange bed, and a sense of helplessness that's hard to describe. The hardest truth is that independence is something that, once lost, is almost impossible to reclaim. Slowly you start adapting. When they tell you what's for lunch, you stop questioning it. When they say it's time to rest, you accept it. You begin to adjust to their routine. And in doing so, you lose a part of yourself. If you're considering moving into a nursing home, ask yourself one important question. Are you truly ready to give up the small freedoms that make your life uniquely yours? Because once they're gone, their absence is felt deeply and daily. Number 2, feeling forgotten. One of the hardest truths I faced after moving into the nursing home was realizing that the world outside keeps moving, whether you're part of it or not. When I first came here, my family comforted me, promising they'd visit regularly. And in the beginning, they kept their word. My daughter would come every week, the grandkids would visit on weekends, and for a while it felt like I was still connected to my old life. But as time passed, everything began to change. Visits turned into phone calls, and even those became less frequent. Everyone got busy with their lives, and slowly I began to fade from their list of priorities. The most painful moments came during holidays when everyone would say they'd visit for sure, but plans would change last minute. I often found myself sitting alone in the common lounge, surrounded by others staring at the door, hoping someone might walk in. It's not that my loved ones stopped caring. It's just that my presence in their lives slowly diminished. When you're not in front of them every day, they assume you're doing fine, that you don't need as much attention anymore. But the truth is, the longer you stay in a nursing home, the easier it becomes for others to forget you. One evening, I picked up the phone, thinking I'd call my son, but hesitation stopped me. I wondered if he might be too busy, if I'd just be a burden. I put the phone down, and that's when it hit me. This had become my new routine, waiting, hoping someone would remember me. If you're considering a move to a nursing home, ask yourself, are you prepared for this kind of loneliness? Because no matter how much your family loves you, once you're out of sight, you can slowly become out of mind too. Number 3, losing your sense of purpose. When I moved into the nursing home, I thought I was simply changing where I lived. It never crossed my mind that I might also lose my reason for living. At home, my daily routines, though small, gave my life a rhythm, a sense of purpose. Making coffee in the morning, watering my plants, keeping my room tidy. These tasks may seem trivial, but within them lived my identity and my independence. But once I arrived at the nursing home, all of that vanished. Meals were prepared and delivered at set times. Someone else handled the cleaning, and the plants that once breathed the morning air with me. They were nowhere to be found. At first, it all felt convenient. I told myself it was time to rest, that I no longer needed to worry about chores. But soon I realized this wasn't peace. It was emptiness. The days began to feel longer. Time slowed down. Life became a series of waiting, for visits, for activities, for joy. I saw others going through the same thing. There was a man named George, 84 years old. He'd been a carpenter all his life, fixing things around the house, crafting little wooden pieces. But here his hands had nothing to do. No tools, no projects. One day he said to me, "I feel like I'm not useful anymore." And I understood his pain deeply. When a person has nothing meaningful to do, they begin to feel hollow. The mind dulls, the body weakens, and soon you're just a resident. Another face, another name, another bed in the hallway of forgotten potential. If you're thinking about moving into a nursing home, pause for a moment and ask yourself, what gives your life meaning? Because finding that answer inside a nursing home is much harder than simply passing the time. Number 4, unexpected decline in health. Before moving into the nursing home, my health was quite good for my age. I could walk on my own, did light exercise, cooked for myself, and managed all my small daily tasks independently. I thought life in a nursing home would just mean a bit more rest, while everything else would stay the same. But the reality turned out to be very different. In the beginning, the convenience felt comforting. Meals were taken care of, medication was given on time, and if I needed anything, all I had to do was press a call button. But gradually I realized that this convenience was making me inactive. I started walking less, sitting more. After a few weeks, climbing stairs became difficult, and getting up from a chair started to feel like a burden. The physical strength I had carefully maintained over the years slowly began to slip away. And it wasn't just me. I saw many others go through the same pattern. People who had walked in on their own were in wheelchairs within months. There was a woman named Alice. When she first arrived, she would take daily walks and had a strong spirit. But within a few months, she moved from using a walker to needing a wheelchair. One day she said, "It feels like I've aged 10 years in just a few months." Everything in a nursing home is designed to make life easier, but that ease often comes at the cost of movement. And the human body is like a machine. If it doesn't move, it starts to rust. Once the body begins to weaken, it's not easy to get it back to its former strength. If you're considering a move to a nursing home, ask yourself, are you going somewhere that might reduce your physical activity? Will you have the willpower to stay active every day? Because once your strength starts to fade, getting it back is far from easy. Number 5, losing privacy and dignity. Before going to the nursing home, I never imagined just how much I would lose in terms of personal privacy and dignity. In my own home, my independence was complete. I rested when I wanted, closed my door for peace, sat quietly, and took care of my needs by myself. But in the nursing home, all of that became nothing more than a memory. From the moment I arrived, I realized that my privacy was no longer mine to control. Every so often, someone would enter my room. Nurses came in without knocking, routine checks were frequent, and more often than not, I had to share my space with someone else. Finding even a single moment of solitude became nearly impossible. Simple daily tasks like changing clothes, bathing, or using the bathroom were no longer things I could manage alone. I needed help, and no matter how kindly that help was offered, it still chipped away at my sense of pride. I understood the staff was just doing their job, but for me, it was painful to rely on someone else for the things I had always done myself. Then there were the meals. If I didn't like what was being served that day, there usually wasn't another option. The room I was assigned had to be shared with a stranger. Fortunately, my roommate turned out to be a kind man, but I saw others paired with people who were noisy, mentally unwell. or simply not compatible, which made rest and peace hard to come by. And perhaps the most hurtful moments were when someone walked in without knocking, or when staff spoke to me in a tone that made me feel like a patient instead of a person with dignity. These small incidents, seemingly minor on their own, gradually eroded my sense of self-worth. If you're thinking about moving into a nursing home, pause and ask yourself, are you ready to give up your privacy and personal dignity to this extent? Because once those are lost, getting them back is anything but easy. Number 6. Going back home isn't as easy as it seems. When I first stepped into the nursing home, I thought it was a temporary choice. I told myself, if it feels right, I'll stay. If not, I'll just go back home. But what I didn't understand then was that returning home isn't simply a matter of changing your mind. At first, it all seems easy. The house is still there, just waiting for you. But with time, things change. My children tried to manage the home. They sold off a few things, and even considered renting it out. When I mentioned I was thinking about coming back, their response was, "Do you really think you can manage everything on your own? We believe the nursing home is safer for you." Physically, I wasn't the same either. Months of ease and assisted living had weakened my strength. I wasn't as active or confident anymore. The lack of self-assurance trapped me. The desire to return was still alive, but the courage had faded. I saw the same pattern in others. Many believed the nursing home was just a short-term arrangement, but over time, it became permanent. Some had sold their homes. Others had exhausted their savings on the facility's fees. And when the thought of going back crossed their minds, all they saw were closed doors. This is a truth few talk about. Entering a nursing home may feel like a temporary solution, but it often becomes a permanent one. The outside world slowly fades away, and your former life turns into a distant dream. If you're thinking about moving into a nursing home, ask yourself this one question. Are you prepared for the possibility that returning home may not be as easy as it seems? Because once you step inside, the path back can become obscured by time, circumstance, and the quiet erosion of strength. Coming to a nursing home was an easy decision for me, but it took away my freedom, identity, and independence. Not every nursing home is bad, but if you still have the power to choose, make your decision wisely. If I had the chance to go back, I would have explored more ways to stay at home. A nursing home may seem like a convenient solution, but it can be a major and permanent step. Before deciding, ask yourself, is this truly necessary or just temporary ease? Because the freedom and routines you have today may not be there tomorrow. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share, and let us know your thoughts in the comments.